Okay, so let's take a look at a problem using the Dupont system. So I've copied over problem 3-14 from the textbook just so we can take a look at how this works. So let's look at it. We've got Gates Appliances has a return on assets ratio of 8%. So it gives us that. We've got part A. If the debt to total assets ratio is 40%, what is the return on equity? And so remember, with the DuPont ratio, we are solving for return on equity. Now, part B is asking if the firm had no debt, what would the return on equity ratio be? So we're looking at the same thing with debt, without debt. Let's take a look at the formula again, just to kind of give a refresh, and then we'll look at the equation. So remember, the Dupont equation uh, is, let's see here. We've got return on equity, and that equals return on assets. And then we're going to divide that by 1 minus debt divided by assets. So that's the financial leverage multiplier. So that's our financial leverage multiplier there. Okay, so we've got that. So let's take a look at number or letter A. So letter A is asking us if debt to total asset ratio is 40%, what is the return on equity? So, and also we can abbreviate return on equity by just typing ROE. So the ROE will equal, in this case, we've got a return on assets ratio of 8%. So they give that to us. So we've got that. So then we've got the debt to total asset ratio is 40%. So now we just need to calculate the financial leverage multiplier. So using that, so let's take a look at this. We've got 1, and then we're going to minus, that's 40%. So we're going to write this in decimal form, 0.40, right? Now, let's solve this out. So that's going to equal then 8%. We still have the 8% divided by, so we got 1 minus 0.40. That will give us 0.60. Okay, so let's keep moving. So then we take that further and we calculate this out, and that is going to give us 13.13. So we got 13.13 percent. So we've calculated that, and so we've got the return on equity for this, looking at the debt to total asset ratio being 40%. So now, this was a little, the next question, I would call it a trick question, because it's asking us if the firm had no debt, what would the return on equity be? So if there's no debt, then, we don't, there's nothing there. So we would have, 0 over whatever our assets are. So it would look something like this. So let's work it out. So we've got the ROE, that would equal 8%, and then we would have 1 minus 1 minus 0 because there's no debt. So it'd be 1 minus 0, then that would give us 8%, and then that's divided 1 minus 0 is 1. So then we're back at 8%. We've got our 8%. So for this one, if the firm had no debt, the return on equity, it would equal the return on assets, so it would be 8%. So this gives you a little look at how we would work the Dupont analysis. Great overview. Thank you.